Have you ever felt that your presence makes others uncomfortable, even without saying anything? That some watch you from a distance with a strange look, as if they are trying to decipher something? It's because you carry an energy that cannot be explained, only felt, and those who feel react, one way or another. From an early age, you may have noticed that you don't fit in. It's not that you are lonely, it's that your soul cannot pretend to feel what it does not. While most learn to mold themselves to please, you came with the mission to reveal what is hidden. And this, for many, is uncomfortable. People sense when you enter a room. Some withdraw. Others move closer, as if searching for something they cannot even explain. But the point is, no one remains indifferent to your presence, because the chosen does not need to shout to be noticed. They simply are. And that is enough to awaken, disturb, or illuminate. Perhaps you thought the problem was you, that this distancing from people, the judgments and the strange looks were your fault. But today, you'll understand that there is nothing wrong with you. What exists is a calling, a mark, a purpose. And those who carry this also carry reactions they cannot control. In this video, I will show you 9 pieces of evidence that people see you are the chosen one. These are not mere opinions. They are signs that appear in everyday life silently, but reveal something powerful. You have not gone unnoticed, neither in heaven nor on earth. And before we continue, I want to ask you for something that goes beyond a click. Subscribe to the channel if this content speaks to your soul. Here, you will not hear generic messages. Here, we talk about things that the world does not understand, but that your spirit recognizes. And that changes everything. You arrive at a place and feel, without anyone saying anything, that something has changed in the air. Someone's gaze closes off, the mood becomes heavy, and even without opening your mouth, it seems that your presence has disturbed them. There was no fight, no conflict, just the uncomfortable silence of those who want you to leave for no reason. This happens more than you would like. People treat you coldly, avoid conversation, talk behind your back, and you try to understand, but what did I do? The answer almost always is nothing, and that's exactly what confuses you, because rejection comes before any acquaintance, as if something in you triggers an automatic reaction. And it does, in fact. But it's not because there is something wrong with you. It's precisely because of what is right. You carry a presence that is hard to ignore. Even without wanting to draw attention, you are noticed. And that affects those who live trying to hide what is inside them. Sometimes they even try to label you. They say you are strange, snobbish, cold, distant. But deep down, what they are really saying is, I don't know how to handle what you awaken in me. But it's easier to point fingers than to look inward. That's how they protect themselves. So don't take it personally. Don't try to fit in to please those who reject you. Because the problem is not in your way of being, but in the truth you carry. And those who are not ready to face their own shadow will always choose to attack those who shine with a clean light. In many cases, this discomfort isn't even conscious. People reject you without knowing why. They just feel and act. But you don't have to carry that weight, nor try to defend yourself, because those who reject you today may remember you tomorrow as the first sign that they needed to change their life. Some people will turn their faces when they see you, not out of anger, but out of fear, You represent something they don't have the courage to face. Your calm demeanor, your firm presence, your truth. All of that clashes with the masks they wear every day. So walk in peace. Continue being who you are. And when you feel that silent rejection again, don't lower your head. Remember, light doesn't need to explain itself to darkness. It just keeps shining. Even if it hurts the eyes of those who are not yet ready to see clearly. Keep this phrase with you. Those who cannot stand your light choose to live in their own darkness. Do not change to fit into the world of those who still live dimmed. The chosen were not made to hide. They were made to illuminate, even when it makes others uncomfortable. You enter an environment and feel something strange. It is not noise. It is not chaos. It is the silence. That feeling that eyes turn to you without warning, as if your presence has interrupted something invisible. And no matter where you are, there is always someone watching quietly, as if trying to understand what you are. These gazes do not come with a smile. They are not of light curiosity. They come with weight, with doubt, sometimes with judgment. But you feel it. Something in them is trying to decipher you, as if there were a mystery in you that provokes unrest. And the most curious part, often these people don't even know you. This kind of reaction does not have to do with beauty, clothing, or style. It is much more subtle. It has to do with what is in you that cannot be seen, but is felt. A different energy, a presence that speaks before your voice. And those who have a restless spirit perceive it. It is as if you carry something that escapes common explanation. A firmness in your gaze, a serenity in your body, a silent peace that by itself already causes impact. And not everyone is ready to deal with that. Many stare because they feel something, but do not know what. You do not just enter a place, you invade the spiritual field of the people, not in an aggressive way, but in a true way. Your essence communicates with the environment, and those who live anesthetized by the automatic nature of life feel the shock of something authentic passing nearby. You bring presence where there was distraction. That is why many times the environment changes when you arrive. It becomes more serious, less comfortable, and some become silent. It is not fear of you, it is fear of themselves, because your whole being confronts the half that many have chosen to be in order to survive in the world. But you do not need to carry guilt for that, nor should you hide. Your role is not to relieve the spiritual tension of others. It is to show that there is another way to exist. And those who are ready will approach. Those who are not will watch until they decide to face what they feel. Gazes observe you because there is something in you that stands out effortlessly, something that cannot be copied, something that cannot be faked. The chosen have no need to prove anything because they carry a calling that precedes them. And the spiritual world recognizes this, even when people do not understand. It is possible that someone will think about you for days, weeks, or months without ever exchanging a word, because there is a mark on those who are chosen that goes beyond time and contact. It is something spiritual. And even in silence, your presence activates memories, pains, inspirations, and decisions. You were not called to go unnoticed, and every look that observes you without understanding is proof that your energy fulfills a role even when you do not move. The world sees, the spirit feels, and what you carry will never be common. Do not try to hide to avoid reactions. You were born to be seen, even if you are watched in silence. Your shine does not need an audience. Your mission speaks, even in silence. And the eyes that stare at you, they know you are different. You are chosen. You begin to notice that without understanding how, people around you are changing. The way they speak, dress, and even the ideas they share seem to come from you. They didn't ask for advice, nor did they express admiration, but they start to resemble you. And not because they are growing, but because they are copying. The chosen does not try to be an example. They simply are. And by being so true, they end up awakening in others the desire to approach that essence. However, many do not know how, so they copy. They try to dress like you, act like you, speak like you, in the hope of having the same strength that you carry. But what you have does not come from the form. It comes from the content. It comes from the journey, from the pain you lived, the struggles you faced silently, the choices that no one saw. That is what shaped your essence. And because of that, it cannot be copied. It can only be built with truth. Those who imitate you often do not even understand why. They feel something in you that is strong, firm, stable, and they want to have that too. But they do not know what it cost you to get there. So they try to skip the process, wearing the shell, without enduring the fire that forged what you carry inside. And the most curious thing is that, even while copying, many deny it. Some even try to compete with you, as if they could win by being a copy of your originality. But deep down, what drives these people is the impact you caused. It is the mark you left, even without having touched them. Do not feel threatened by this. Imitation, even if disguised, is an involuntary confession. It reveals that you have been noticed, that what you are has value, that your presence does not go unnoticed, and that your essence, even without effort, teaches, even when no one is listening. But do not be deluded. Imitation is not always a sign of honor. Sometimes it is an attempt at control, appropriation, an effort to invalidate the original, as if by copying you, they could neutralize you. But what makes you different is not on the outside. It is where no one can reach. That is why you need to maintain your truth. Because the more you are yourself, the harder it will be to copy you. And the more they try to imitate you, the more you should dive into your identity. What is true does not need to protect itself from imitation. It only needs to continue being authentic. Let them copy what they wish. Your essence remains solely yours. And when they try to be you, the world will notice. It is missing soul. It is missing truth. It is missing the part that cannot be bought or stolen, the part that only the chosen have. There are people who cannot be at peace by your side without trying to understand you. They ask too many questions, observe your steps, analyze your words, not out of a real interest in getting to know you, but out of a need to find an explanation for the impact you have without saying anything. You become a topic of conversation, even when you are silent. People speculate about your life, try to guess your intentions, make assumptions. Some want to know where you live, who you hang out with, what you think. Others follow you in silence, as if they are piecing together a puzzle that never ends, because you represent something they cannot control. It's not that you are inaccessible. It's that your depth confronts the shallow pattern that many have become accustomed to live in. You do not drop hints, do not engage in competition, do not shout your truth. You live it. And this makes many people uneasy because your firmness exposes their inconsistency. The chosen is a mystery, not because they hide something, but because they live with a consciousness that is not easily explained. You see what others ignore. You feel what many deny. You carry silences that scream and postures that do not bend. And those who live on a surface try to understand, but do not know how to swim. This entire curiosity is, in fact, an attempt to disarm what you represent. People do not just want to understand you. They want to find flaws, gaps, contradictions, not to get to know you, but to convince themselves that you are not so different after all. It is a way to alleviate the discomfort they feel. Some even approach you with innocent questions, casual conversations. But their gaze reveals they do not want connection. They want investigation. They are searching for some explanation that justifies the spiritual discomfort that your presence provokes. They want you to reveal yourself, not out of true interest, but for control. You walk in, and the environment changes. The conversation slows down. Some people look away, fidget with their phones, become restless. Others stutter, lose focus, or try to hide their discomfort with forced smiles. You have done nothing, said nothing, but your presence has already spoken for you. It's as if your silence says everything. Your gaze, firm. Your posture, calm. Your way of being, whole. This alone reveals how different you are, and when the truth enters, the lie shakes. Not because you accuse, but because your presence reveals what others try to hide. There are people who live hiding inside, behind masks, roles, speeches, and when someone who lives with truth appears, that facade begins to crack. The soul feels it, and the body reacts. It becomes restless, anxious, tense, because something inside it is being exposed, even without words. The chosen does not need to raise their voice to make an impact. What they carry screams in the silence. They enter a place, and their energy takes up space. They bring clarity. They bring light. And light always reveals. That is why some become nervous. Because near you, it is impossible to pretend all the time. You may think you did something wrong, that perhaps you are being too cold, too distant, too serious. But it's not about that. It's that you do not engage in the social games that many have become accustomed to playing. You are true, and that bothers those who live by appearances. Do not try to soften your presence just to make others more comfortable. What you have is rare. It is necessary. And many, even without knowing, are being transformed by it. Sometimes, nervousness is just the first sign that something is moving inside them. Some will distance themselves, others will try to avoid you, but many will remember you, not for what you said, but for what you provoked, because you touched where no one else had reached, and what seemed uncomfortable later transforms into direction. The chosen is a mirror, and not everyone is ready to see themselves truly, but you are not here to be accepted. You are here to fulfill your purpose, and if, just by your presence, you already cause this impact, imagine when you begin to speak. You don't always speak much, but when you do, people stop to listen, and even when you are silent, many observe you. They seek you out. They want to know what you think, how you see the situation. Sometimes they don't say it directly, but they wait for your gaze, your reaction, your approval. Your opinion carries weight. You notice that, in some way, Your presence has become a point of reference. People who are lost, confused, tired, find in you a kind of clarity that they do not find elsewhere. Even if you don't have all the answers, there is something in you that conveys truth, that calms, that guides. Many do not even know why they listen to you so intently. They just feel that they need to. Your words do not come from superficiality. They come from experience, from awareness, from purpose. And that is why your words resonate deeply, because they have roots. And those who are tired of hearing superficiality recognize when they find something real. You become a counselor, even without asking. People approach you, vent, share details they have never told anyone. They trust you. They trust your sensitivity, but also your firmness, because you listen with your heart, but respond with spirit. And that is rare. But be careful. It is not because you are a light to many that you need to carry everyone on your back. There is a fine line between being a guide and being a crutch. You can help, guide, support, but you cannot forget about yourself, because even the chosen wear out when they try to carry more than they were called to bear. People sense that you are different. That is why they seek you out so much. But do not let this search become dependency. Teach, but also liberate. Show the way, but do not become the way, because the true impact of the chosen is to awaken others, not to bind them. You are not here to be a hero. You are here to be a beacon. Your clarity is necessary, but your balance is as well. Remember, those who seek you feel that you have something they are still discovering. Honor that, but do not lose yourself trying to save those who have not yet decided to walk. You can get it right 10 times. No one comments, but just make one single mistake, and that becomes the topic of conversation. The scrutiny is greater on you. The criticism comes heavier. People who have never applauded you are now eager to point out your stumble as if they were waiting for it. What you are experiencing is not common injustice. It is silent persecution. Many observe you in silence, hoping that something goes wrong, not out of explicit malice, but because your success bothers them. Your growth shows how stagnant they are. Your success reveals their own stagnation. Making a mistake seems to be more serious for the chosen, but it's not. The mistake only gains more attention because you carry influence. What you do inspires, so when you stumble, many try to use it to invalidate everything you represent. But a mistake does not erase purpose. It only shows that you are also under construction. Some cling to your mistakes because they need to justify their own lack of movement. They think, if even he fails, then it's okay for me not to try. You become an excuse for the cowardice of others. But don't let that paralyze you. Keep going. Learn. Evolve. Your mistakes are stepping stones, not limits. Those who watch you so closely in your stumbles, deep down, know that you are going far. That is why they watch. That is why they wait. But what God has given you, no one can cancel, not with criticism nor with judgment. Keep climbing, even if some only look to see where you might fall. Since you were little, you already sensed that you were different. You couldn't fit in with the groups. It wasn't because of shyness or arrogance. It was because of essence. There was something in you that didn't match the ordinary. And even without understanding, the people around you felt it too. You enter an environment, and the looks of the people change. Some approach you with admiration, others back away with distrust. but all in some way feel that there is something in you that is not common. And even without being able to explain what it is, they perceive that you are not from here like the others.